There really are that many people podcasting now. I was at Gallifrey Convention in Los Angeles, and there were 9 of us on doing the podcast panel. There will be so many more next year that they're not going to be able to do a podcast panel. They won't be able to fit us all on the stage. We'll outnumber the audience.
Is that yours?
But what podcasting does for me is it gives me a chance to think about Doctor Who and share stuff about Doctor Who in a participatory way, and it's wonderful. And the fact that anybody can do this, anybody can basically be a publisher, whether a blogger or whether a blogger or a podcaster or a videographer, that's what separates for me enjoying something and participating in it. I define fandom as participation. If you are here at a meetup, you are a fan. You're not just an obsessed watcher. You're actually giving back, you're participating, you're integrating, you're interacting, and that's what I like doing. And I've made some incredible friendships, both locally and globally, through this podcasting thing, and it's loads of fun. So hit Google Doctor Who podcast. You'll get a long list. There's a site called the Doctor Who Podcasting Alliance that is pretty much an RSS feed of just about every one of them out there. There's stuff out there that you will hate, and there is stuff out there that you will love, because there are so many different opinions and ideas and perspectives on Doctor Who. And I'll talk about that in a second as well. But I got to tell you, there is no better way to be introduced to John Pertwee and to watch The Green Death for the first time than it is to be among a bunch of fellow Doctor Who fans laughing your heads off at that god-awful miniatures scene where the teeny little Bessie is going along, and the teeny little maggots and the teeny little driver. It was hysterically bad. But at the same time, my only experience with John Pertwee had been the 5 Doctors, and you get a caricature of each of the Doctors in that one. But John Pertwee in drag, I never would have thought it. John Pertwee is now one of my favorite Doctors, thanks to the opportunity. I might never have gone out seeking his episodes if it hadn't been for this meetup group. So now I'm truly in the deep end of Doctor Who conventions. I've made some great contacts with writers and producers and actors. I went to a convention in Orlando last year. It turned out to have been a little troubled, but I met Tony Lee, who writes the current Doctor Who comic book coming out from IDW in the States. He's just about to finish up writing stories about the 10th Doctor, and he's about to start up a new series with the 11th Doctor. There is a trade paperback called The Forgotten, which is fan service in spades, because it is a book that flashes back to every single Doctor, McGann included, and tells a story involving all of them. It's great. I recommend it to you. I also got to meet Toby Hadoke. How many of you have heard of Moths Ate My Doctor Who Scarf? If you haven't,
there's a meetup.
It's coming up.
No, we had a meetup.
You had one?
Yeah,
fantastic. I wish I'd been. You listened to the
in a coffee shop. We did it.
If you haven't heard it, get on iTunes, and it's not expensive. Get on iTunes or Audible and get Moths Ate My Doctor Who Scarf. It is a fantastic one-person play about growing up, being a Doctor Who fan, and how that actually affects being a father and all this other stuff. It's very touching. And if you have the disposable income and you have the frequent flyer miles, Chicago TARDIS, the convention over Thanksgiving weekend, will possibly be the last time he ever produces this play. And seeing it in person, I saw Rob Shearman, the writer of Dalek, first season episode. I saw him shed a manly tear at the end. It is that good. I encourage you to go. But that was making these connections to fandom, instead of just sitting and watching a show, but actually reaching out and finding out more about it, has been incredibly rewarding for me. And it's also taught me a little bit about the amazing diversity of fandom. When I went to the Gallifrey convention, cosplayers everywhere. Loads and loads of stuff. There was a woman there, a young lady, dressed up in a very ornate, Victorian maybe, hoop skirted, I'm not sure, a very ornate dress, mimicking the Sixth Doctor's costume. The same patterns, the same colors, everywhere, just in a dress. Astonishing creativity. I loved it. It was fantastic. I've encountered people who are into fanfic, I've encountered costumers, people who make fan films. Doctor Who is fertile territory for creativity, fan creativity. I love this about my fandom. And Doctor Who did very quickly become my fandom. And I'll really be disappointed if there isn't a precision fez and mop drill team at the masquerade at the Gallifrey convention this February.
Note-taking.
Somebody's already said, well, you're going to be in it, right? And I said, I'm not going to give up my convention for hours of choreography, but I really want to see somebody else do it. That creativity, I think, comes from the fact that Doctor Who is such a unique template for a TV show. It fosters this kind of creativity because Doctor Who can literally be anything and everything. Fandom diversity reflects Doctor Who's diversity. 20 years ago, I could tell you exactly what Doctor Who was. Doctor Who is the story about the youngish blonde guy and his 3 companions running around having adventures that are excessively math-oriented, as Christopher Bidby years. And that's what Doctor Who was for me. After that, I saw a little bit of Colin Baker. I saw a couple of bootlegs of Sylvester McCoy. I remember at a college fan club meeting, somebody asked me who my favorite Doctor was, and I said Peter Davison. And this older guy with the most atrocious fake British accent, who had long since graduated from college but was still coming to the meetings, shouts, "Wimp!" Was he talking about Davison? Was he talking about me? I didn't know. That was mildly off-putting. And then Doctor Who went away, and I sort of went away. And